Sweet, guys. Welcome to another episode of Sludge Underground. It's me, Marcel. That is the most awkward intro I've probably ever done in my life. I'm with the lads from Indie Dog. Guys, introduce yourselves and what it is you do.
I am Seb. I sing,
I am Dylan/Yak, and I play bass guitar.
and we're one half of Indie Dog.
Nice. That makes life a little bit easier. Usually when there's like four people in a chat, it's like herding cats.
Yeah,
We're
exactly.
one half, we half. One half is more than half.
No,
Let's do maths, bro.
no.
I'm gonna disagree with you there. But yes.
Don't worry. He plays bass better than he counts.
Yeah.
That's why I don't stay in time.
Yeah.
Oh, at least you're not a drummer. That would probably be awkward for the rest of the band.
No, I say it's jazz time, but no, it's just bad time.
And you guys define yourselves as a funk rock sort of alternative band. Is that right?
Yeah, something like that. I'd say funk and rock are the two main elements. We all have obviously different influences and stuff. Every band member has their own stuff that they listen to, but a lot of us listened to the whole like '90s funk rock and grunge movement. A lot of punk. I listen to a lot of metal. That's obviously our favorite genres. We do listen to pretty much anything though.
Yeah, you guys are like with the pre sort of Calabash show. Was that just something to like hype people up for like going through to that show? Was it? I'm assuming it was obviously prior to it, with it being a pre-show. Did you guys end up going to Calabash?
Did you go to Calabash? I didn't go to Calabash
I didn't.
either.
Neither did I. Sweet. Okay.
Yeah, no, I know we missed it. We missed out like big time on it. I know a lot of people who did go, but that show, I think we were the only ones who played at that show that didn't go. Mark went. Steve didn't go. Okay, but the rest of the bands, they went, and it was just, it was a gimmick, get bodies on the dance floor kind of a thing, and it worked. People came, they listened to our bad covers of the songs that they're about to hear the next weekend, so
We would have went if we were opening there. So,
Oh man, like I think it would be like every sort of local band's dream would be to open for artists like that regularly. It is a shame that we don't see bigger like international art, like alternative acts coming through, like punk rock and those type of things. But it is just an unfortunate byproduct of getting people to commit to those shows. Two of the biggest international bands or international like punk rock bands of all times, and yes, a crowd of 50 to 60,000 is amazing, but when you consider the bands that are involved, it raises like flags of, is it worth for them to come back? And it just causes like this negative feedback loop for everyone involved, for the local guys and international guys. And yeah, man, it's definitely something we've all got to work on to get more interest in the scene, which is easier said than done.
100%. And our economy doesn't help either, because you can't price tickets the same way you would elsewhere, because the rand sucks ass. So so like you can't have these like, they did have pretty expensive tickets, and I guess the very rich people bought those tickets, but like on the whole, like you can't. Local guys, even Fuck Off and Prime Circle and stuff, they're charging, less than $1,000 for a ticket to most of their shows. So it's like, you gotta price it right and stuff, and it probably does not end up being very profitable for them. But they probably get a whole lot of like byproduct off of it, like a lot of like PR sharing and streaming and all of that kind of shit, which is worth its own weight, I guess.
If there was one international band you guys could like play with, who would it be? Like, who would be the first one that jumps to mind?
Pearl Jam.
Both.
Yeah, both. We'll go on tour with both of them. Just send them an email
Pearl
and let
Jam
them
and
know
Red Hot
we're
Chili
on our way.
Peppers. Yeah, absolutely. I think that would be a pretty like good fit for you guys. And like, tell me a little bit more about your music and your sort of process in creating as well.
Generally, when we write our songs, it's like it starts off with a jam. It's not usually something that someone brings in. There is a few exceptions, like Bloom. that started with my bass line. I brought it to the guys, and there's a few other songs like Seb's will bring the lyrics. But generally, we'll just come to practice, start playing something. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And when it does, then we can hash out a song in like what, an hour, 2 hours, and then just polish it, and then see if we like it the next day. Sometimes we don't. We like, sounded good when we were playing it, but yeah, that's generally how we do it.
There's nothing worse as an artist as like thinking you're on a fucking roll and you've got something and you listen to it the next day and it sounds like it was made by an 8-year-old on crack. You just sit there, you're like, do I actually know what the fuck I'm doing? Do I actually know how to play an instrument or make music? And it's just a question every life choice you've ever made.
That we are 8-year-olds on crack. So, like, you know.
I'm 4.
Yeah.
I feel like that's so much more of like a natural process. Like, yes, the sort of a clinical approach to songwriting can be cool, but I think there's certain genres where it's just not cut out for that, man. Like, certain types of music do not benefit from like a clinical and like critical approach to songwriting. Sometimes you're a vibes guy, sometimes you're a science guy. It's just it is what it is.
Yeah, look, I mean, we've done it, like you said, both ways. Like we've sat and worked on a song, and like someone's brought an idea, and you know we've processed it and done whatever we wanted to do with it. And then we've also jammed out in our rehearsal studio, and we wrote most of our last album that way. Every time we tour, which we try to do as much as possible, we tend to spend at least 1 or 2 shows where we've got time that we're just improvising on stage. You know, a lot of the time we come out with a track that we're like, oh, shit, that actually works. Like, and people were digging it and stuff. Let's work on that. And then, you know, when we get back from tour, then we kind of like fix the structure a little bit or whatever, because we were just jamming for like 10 minutes straight or something, you know, at the show. But like we chop it down and we put the pieces in their place and it comes out. So like Fly High, which is probably one of our best performing songs that we've released so far. That was written as an improv on stage while we were on tour in KZN. And I mean, we played it throughout that tour, just kind of jamming it out on stage, and everyone loved it. So we got back and we were like, shit, okay, we've actually got to record this, you know.
It's a good way to do it, because then you can see the crowd's reaction as well. See like, okay, that worked well, that didn't work so well, and then we just sort of bond it all together eventually, and then
I'm not gonna lie, like improvising on stage is a ballsy move, man. Like, I can think of a lot of artists who would hear of that concept and be like, no, thank you. I would rather. Because like it's a skill. It's honestly a skill that you learn over time. Like, no one just suddenly picks up and then they're the improv king, you know. But doing it on stage in front of a crowd is that is a different kind of anxiety that I don't think I would be too stoked on dealing with. So I can give you guys like mad credit for that. That's actually pretty fucking impressive.
Thank you, dude. It's less. I mean, yeah, we're fairly proficient at our instruments. Like, I'm not gonna play us down like that, but a lot of it has to do with how we gel musically. Like, we work so well together as a band, and we know exactly, without speaking or looking at each other or doing any sort of physical interaction, we kind of intuitively know where the rhythm section is going to go from here, or, you know, so it makes it a lot easier to do that kind of stuff when you're so like in tune with each other.
And even times when we're not 100% there, then it can create a cool contrast. Like if Mark drops out with the drums and I carry on with the bass line, you're like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And you try it without it and you're like, not as effective. And it's just like that whole process of trial and error, seeing
It's the Bob Ross effect. A happy little accident.
Yeah, basically.
A little bit of serendipity here and there, you know. It's nothing wrong with that. What I want to touch on is, like, you guys say that you try and tour as much as possible. I've been looking a lot like at touring and where artists go and stuff like that. Where are the main sort of places when you guys are planning out a tour? What are you looking at? Where are you going? Are you trying to go to as many different towns as possible? Are you looking at a specific market? What's the general deal there?
It's kind of evolved over time. Like when we first started out, we just wanted to get our name out there. So we were going wherever we had opportunities, basically. And we're kind of yes men when it comes to tour. So
yeah, because they're fun.
because they're fun. Yeah, So yeah, and we just someone's like, "Hey, can you do this?" And we're like, "Yeah, cool, we'll do that." And you end up playing in like weird places and stuff. But as we've gotten, I guess, more mature as touring musicians, we 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 tend to target it a bit more. Like now we have fans in certain places, and we want to go play for those people and stuff. And but we still fit in like new places. Like every year we go somewhere new. Last year we were in Jeffreys Bay in St. Francis and
That was the year before.
Ladysmith. Oh, was that the year
Yeah.
before? Anyway, whatever. We spend as much time as possible on the road, and we try and still get our name out, as well as like take care of the fans that we've made on previous tours, basically.
I think what's changed in our approach a bit, like from when we first started, is like we would generally go on tour, just like put the capital down and be like, okay, we're doing it. Didn't care whether or not we made any money or not, just to get it out. But I think a good thing that we've started doing is try to get some sort of cash down first, so that we're not pulling out of our own pockets. And that's like maturing and then building the band account as well, so that we can grow it further that sort of way. So it's never a waste of time to play a show in essence, but also traveling around the country and spending all your
Expensive.
money. It's fun, but it's expensive. Yes,
What he's trying to say is we ran out of money.
pretty much.
Fair enough. That's to be expected. I don't ever hear of people going to Jeffreys Bay to play a show. I don't really ever hear of anyone going to Ladysmith to play a show, and that's what intrigues me about it, because the main places that artists want to go to is either Cape Town or Durban, and it makes you wonder because South Africa is 9 provinces, man. Like, there's got to be something. There's got to be something else out there. Like, Jeffreys Bay is in the Eastern Cape. Is my geography skills
Yes,
fucked?
sir. Well done.
Okay, yeah. So I don't ever hear of things happening in the Eastern Cape, so that's cool. But like, why don't bands make an effort to go out that side? Because obviously it's expensive and whatnot. But if more people made an effort to do so, would it not sort of cultivate more artists from those areas to try and make music?
Absolutely, man.
But kind of ask the question: what is the state of touring in South Africa? Like, what are your guys' thoughts on it?
It's kind of a weird like scene because I mean we have friends who are in bands and they're great bands and they're doing really well in their like local area and they've never played a show outside their own town, you know. And they're like they have like radio play and like they're doing decently, but they've never toured. And I've asked these guys because I love touring. It's one of my favorite things to do, and I've always asked them like, why don't you ever go out? Like, you guys deserve to get your music out there, you know? And they're like, oh, just time and money and whatever. And they don't, I guess, see the benefit in doing it. You know, we love Durban and we love Cape Town. We've toured both cities multiple times, you know, over the years, and touring the smaller towns definitely costs more money to get there. Like, you don't make as much going to the smaller towns because you're also only playing like 1 or 2 shows while you're there, as opposed to like in a major city where there's like so many people. You can just play on the east side and the west side and up north and whatever, and you can play a whole bunch of shows. There's that to think about. Like, maybe they don't want to do that. For us, you know, a lot of this is a promotional thing. We're quite aware of the fact that unless you are an absolute superstar, you're not gonna pay for a mansion and a Bugatti with your music money. You know, like,
What color is your Bugatti?
yeah, what color is your Bugatti, man? No, we're touring in this like clapped out Uno or something, you know, like um no,
Fucking
you know,
miracle that
so
gets you
like
from A
we
to B kind of deal.
yeah, man. So we're aware of that, and a lot of like shows and music activities are promotional things. And while Yak has brought the point up of that, yeah, now we're trying to make a bit more money, and we are in more of a position to do that because of the name that we've made for ourselves. You know, we're also aware that if we go to Ladysmith, we're not going to make R1,000,000,
No.
but we've got a pretty loyal fan base in Ladysmith from the last time we were there. You know, so we know we'll have a packed venue, and those people don't have bands coming through all the time. So yeah, indie dogs coming through. Let's go have a jaw, you know.
You feel more like a rock star because it's a small town. It's like the whole town's at one venue. So you're like, yeah, I'm cool now.
Something I want to touch on as well is like you guys have like a really nailed down on your music videos. I was going through them a little bit earlier, and I really enjoy like a lot of the concepts you guys have done for your music videos. My favorite one was the one in the pool.
Oh,
Pretty full.
pretty
It's
full. Yeah.
pretty full. I loved that, like just the concept of it. The fact that all of you could keep your eyes open underwater creeped me the fuck out. I'm gonna be brutally honest. Y'all seemed way too fucking comfortable with that for my liking.
We had someone like when we dropped that music video, I had someone message me and say, "Hey, does your bassist know how to swim?"
That water was so cold.
Because he's just like,
Because of how
Like the
cold
Nevada
water
baby,
was.
he's just like fucking.
yeah. Anyway, I interrupted you, man. What was your question?
No, like just walk me like through like your your process when making music videos. I mean, the one for what's that? You mentioned the song earlier as well, "Flying High," I think it was, and that's such a cool like video as well, where you guys are on the rooftop. It looks like you've got a drone shot. That seemed like it must have been like one hell of a fun experience to record.
Yeah,
It was actually the police helicopter looking for us in that drone shot. I'm joking. No,
No,
it was,
that's a funny story. Yak had the idea, the rooftop idea, and he's like, I want to do it on the top of Bedford Center.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, like I've worked with shopping centers before, like I don't know, dude. And he was like, well, let's see.
go ask.
Yeah, so we literally just walked into the management office and we're like, hey, we're in a rock band. We want to shoot a music video on your roof. Like, can we? And they were like, yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I don't care. Nobody ever goes up there, man. So yeah, do it. And yeah, so we literally, I think a week later, we went up and shot the music
Literally.
video. Yeah.
That's so sick though. It's so cool when like people like just agree to these kind of things, and like the result is so fucking cool. Like,
Yeah, we have fun with our music videos. I mean, we've got a track coming. I don't know when this podcast is coming out, but we've got a track coming out on 14th of March, and called Muffin Top. And it's a bit of like a more grungy, like hook heavy kind of a song. So we did a really cool thing at a rage room for that music video, and so like we someone will have an idea, and then the other guys, because we're all just like, yeah, okay, cool, let's give it a go. So we try it out, and usually it comes out pretty cool. So yeah,
it's basically a band full of enablers.
exactly. It's terrible, especially when we're on tour. It's so bad.
You guys did a cover of Flowers, and tell me a bit more about like the music video like process for that. Like, it seems like you guys had a dancer who came through, and
It's always funny for us because like to us, we're just us. We're just these guys. We like to make music. We're nothing really special. And then we had this idea like, oh, we want to do this music video, and we kind of want to like have a nod towards the original, where Miley's dancing through the house and whatever. So like we wanted to like pay homage to that, but without copying her exactly, obviously. So we put out a post on our Facebook page of like, hey, we're looking for a dancer. It's a paid gig, for a music video. And this fucking post went viral, like, and we had these like people writing blog pages and stuff, like, be part of history with Indie Dog, like, be part of their like worldwide release. And we're like, whoa, yeah. We were like, okay, hold on, guys, we're just a local band, we'll pay you, but not very much. Anyway, but yeah, so we went through like over 100 people sent in their videos, their dancing videos and stuff, and it took us many hours. And then the dancer that we settled on actually sent in an application like super late. The applications had closed, and we had like a top 3 at the time. And then we saw her and we were like, oh, actually no, this is the one. And we contacted her. She was super keen, came in. She was very professional. Alandia van Aswagen, if you care to know. Great dancer, great person. And yeah, she choreographed that whole dance herself. We got a friend in who works in a media company, and he filmed it for us and edited it. And yeah, that's kind of how that came together. But yeah, it was a fun process. We enjoyed it.
it's always funny though, like how when something goes viral, it's completely out of your hands. Like, where you guys were sitting there like, guys, actually, we're just a local band. It's not that big of a deal. Like, but because it's taken on this life of its own, it can be something that can be extremely daunting, especially if you've never really experienced it. or no one's really told you like, hey, this is a concept, this is what potentially happens. So
No, it's true. I mean, viral to the extent of, I don't know, world fame, not.
No,
But we
yeah.
don't do enough stupid stuff because that seems to be popular these days. That goes viral. I think we should do stupid stuff.
it had to have reached enough, like it had to have reached a decent amount of people for you guys to have gotten over 100 applications.
It was like this massive spike in our reach stats on our socials. It was crazy. Yeah.
That's from the resharing and
Yeah.
posts on like pages and whatnot. And people were interested because it turned out well.
Yeah.
Obviously, only one
Now, if
person
only they
got it.
did that with the video itself,
Yeah,
man.
I was gonna add on to that. That would have been cool. Like, okay, give us that attraction again, please.
Lads, what is the plan for the future? What have you guys like in your most how do I say, in the foreseeable future of Indie Dog, other than being the best rock band in the world? What are your more like foreseeable plans?
Yeah, there's a couple steps that we need to do before we hit that one. But no, we're busy working on some really cool stuff. Like I said, we've got a single coming out soon. We've got other music in the pipeline that's being recorded and mixed and whatever. And probably the major thing that we're working on right now is an international tour. We've got some opportunities in Mexico and some in Europe that we're following up on, and hopefully we can pull both of those off. If not, then at least one of them. But yeah, the plan is to go to either one of those places this year still, and follow up on the radio play that we're getting over there, because why waste it and not go play shows?
Mexico is not one I've heard on anyone's list. Just want to point that out. That is
I
a
know.
new one on the list of international places to go to. I think you're the first fucking band that's ever said, "Yeah, we're looking at playing
Mexico.
Mexico."
We're going to Mexico, boys.
Like, yeah.
Well, the thing is that we have radio play there, and
I like tequila as well.
and he likes tequila, and we got in touch with a label there, like an indie label, or they got in touch with me rather, and they were like, hey, like, we dig your stuff, and have you thought of coming through to Mexico? And I mean, we were already talking about an international tour, and I had a meeting with them, and they are essentially representing us there now, in terms of booking and setting up a trip that is viable for us. So because obviously it costs a whole shitload of money to get there and back. But so that's all in the works, and I mean, I'm now in touch with like a whole lot of bands in Mexico. They're all like fucking keen to play with us and stuff, and venues, and like somehow we just got inserted into the scene there, and suddenly Indie Dog is a name there in Mexico City and Guadalajara. It's like,
That's so fucking cool. That's honestly so fucking rad. And yeah, but like, guys, thank you so much for taking the time to have a chat with me today. I greatly appreciate it. And where can people find you in closing?
You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Apple Music, anywhere at Indie Dog Band, or just Indie Dog for the streaming sites. Like our stuff, follow us, and get involved, and we will respond. We're not that cool that we don't have to respond yet.
Guys, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys so much. It's been, yeah.